What brought you to your very first meditation retreat? What motivated you to come to something, especially something which is 7 days of silence, a pretty big commitment? So I'll start with Rabbi Dr. James. Tell us
Mhm.
your experience.
Suffering.
Suffering. Tell us more.
Was what brought me to my first retreat. Very simply, I was at a time in my life where I was having quite a hard time. I was in college, and through a series of events, including some bodily injuries and chronic pain and difficulty I was experiencing, and other things that, in retrospect, I hadn't processed, I had fallen into depression and anxiety and was just really suffering a lot. And was looking for a way out. I didn't really know what that was. And I had a physical therapist who I was working with on the bodily pain who recommended meditation to me just for sleep because I was having a hard time sleeping. So I started meditating. And as soon as I started, it was sort of very quickly clear, within really a few days of doing it, that it was a dramatically new way of relating to my experience, a way that I'd never had before. What I hadn't realized was that I was running away from my experience all the time. I was avoiding my experience. I was shutting down to my experience instead of opening up and facing and welcoming in my experience, which included the fear and the sadness and the grief, but also included joy and wonder and openness and connection. And those initial moments of practice really opened my eyes and it gave me a new orientation to life. And once that started, it was clear to me that there was a yearning to deepen practice. And that started, first of all, just with myself. And then by going on retreat. And on retreat, what I found was an opportunity to just deepen and unwind deeply inside, sort of release deeply inside in a way that was unparalleled in my experience. I'd certainly never had anything like that happen, and was also unparalleled even in relationship to the quite serious daily practice I was already doing at that point. I was, quite quickly went to at least 45 minutes a day. I was very dedicated to my practice. And, but on retreat, there was a kind of marinating in this open, in this silence, in this presence, in this softness and vulnerability and liveness and vividness that was beyond anything I'd experienced, really in anything else in my life.